Welcome to Prodigy. Prodigy is a great tool that helps your students to learn important math skills by asking them standards-based questions in an engaging and thrilling fantasy role-playing game. And did I mention it's also free? Let's get started. First, you need to navigate to www.prodigygame.com using a Chrome or Firefox browser. Once you get to the home page, it's going to look something like this. The first thing you need to do is to register your own teacher account, so that way you can get started with your students. So what you need to do is click the register button in the top right corner of the top bar. So let's click that. Now it's going to ask you what type of user you are, teacher, parent, or student. So I'm a teacher, so I'm going to click teacher. Now it's going to ask you for your name, email, and password. So go ahead and input that data. I'll be right back in a second once I've inputted all of my data. Alright, so I've inputted all of my data, my name, my email, and password, and now I can choose whether or not I want to agree to the terms of service and privacy policy, which I agree to after I've read, and I can choose whether or not I want to receive emails about promotion and news, and I usually uncheck that, but it's up to you. And once all of this has been filled in, you can go ahead and click Create Account. Now it's going to ask you for some more specifics on your school and what grades you're teaching. So click all of the grades that you teach, and then it's going to ask the country, state, district, and school that you teach in. So we're in the United States, in the state of Maryland, in Frederick County, and we are at Thurmont Middle. So once all that data is inputted, you can click Submit. Now it's going to give you a quick overview about what Prodigy offers. It tells you that your students will answer math problems to learn spells and unlock cool outfits for their character. It will progress them through the curriculum, and it will also allow them to revisit prerequisites to fill in any missing pieces. And it will also tell you that you can align content with your lesson plan and also use the reporting system to monitor students' progress. Finally, it will prompt you to create your class. So we're going to click that button. Now what we need to do is input the first name and last name or initial of all the students of our class. So I'll be back in just 1 second when I've inputted all of my students. Alright, so I've inputted all of my students, and if you notice below the students' names, you can click the Add 10 More Rows button to make your class bigger, and you can make it as big as you need to fit your needs. But this is all the students I'm going to put in for now, so I'm going to go ahead and click Create Students. Now once my class has been created, I'm going to receive a table with all the names of my students, a custom username for each one of the students, and a unique password. And all of these usernames and passwords are pretty easy to remember. So once you get this list, what you want to do is either print screen your page, write them all down on a piece of paper, or you want to print it out. And it does give you an option right at the bottom to go ahead and print it. So I'll be back in just one moment to teach you where to go from here. So now that I've closed out my class list, I'm back at my dashboard. And so we're going to take a quick look at the dashboard structure. So you can see at the top there's Quick Actions, below that is Resources, and below that is Your Account. So let's go back from the bottom up. Your account shows your name, your email, school, and the grades that you teach. And you can change that at any time in case you move or change grades. Resources include training videos to help you understand how to manage the game and play it better, a parent letter template that you can download and send out to your parents so they can become familiar with the game as your students start playing it, and frequently asked questions. And at the top, there are some quick actions. So first, let's look at create or manage your class. So we've created our class already, but here you can add students, look students up, you can reset passwords, and also manage different memberships. There is a premium option to the game, however it's totally optional, so you don't have to pay any money at any point. But if students are able to or are interested in doing so with the permission of their parents, they can go ahead and do that. You can also do curriculum overrides depending on the needs of your students. Now let's click Create or Review Assignments. When you're ready to create a new assignment, you'll see this page once you've clicked on it, and this is going to give you the opportunity to actually create meaningful assignments for your students within the gameplay that they have to complete in a certain amount of time. And also these assignments will include targeted questions based on a certain curricular area that you're focusing on or a certain lesson that you're working on. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and click Create New Assignment. Now once you're at this page, you're going to be able to choose a curriculum, and we're going to go with Common Core, and you're going to choose a grade level. Now in Common Core Prodigy, we don't go up to 8th grade, however, many of the topics underneath 6th and 7th grade also fall under 8th grade, so no worries about that. You're definitely going to find plenty of content that is applicable to students at all levels of middle school. So I'm going to stick with 6th grade, and then I'm going to choose a topic, and I'm going to go with multiplication properties. Once you click on a topic, it's going to give you a brief overview of what the topic includes, as well as a sample question. And if this is enough information for you, you can go ahead and click Create Assignment, or you can go further and click Customize Assignment in order to rename the topic in any way you choose. Select a number of questions for the assignment. Select the students you're going to assign it to, whether you want to assign it to certain group levels or something like that. And then you're going to pick a start date to open up the assignment, and then a due date, the point where you want your students to complete your assignment. And once you're done with all of that, you're going to click Create Assignment and confirm by saying yes, and then it will tell you success, and you can close that window out. Now it's going to pop up on your assignments dashboard, and you can keep track of it, and you can also click View Report, which will go into a little bit more detail later when we actually go to the reports section of our dashboard. So let's go back to our dashboard, and now we're going to look at the View Student Progress Reports button. Now this is where you're going to see all of the data that's pertinent to your students while they're playing the game. And this is going to become more meaningful to you as your students continue to play the game. Since I have a new account, I don't have any data yet. But once I have students playing the game, I'll be able to see a lot of meaningful information that I can use to inform my own teaching. So the different categories are usage impact, which shows what types of skills your students have mastered during their time playing Prodigy. And you can see a whole class overview as well as a student-by-student breakdown. And you can also see how long your students are playing the game as well under this category. Under student progress, you can see how students are progressing through specific skills and assignments. Under curriculum, you can see the skills that align with the curriculum that you're working on, and you can see how students are doing on those specific skills. And finally, in trouble spots, you can see the areas that your students are struggling in. Now you can click on all of these to see the data, However, mine doesn't have any data yet, but yours will once your students start using it. And usually it's presented in a chart or a graph format. So you can click Student Progress. You can choose certain students you want to look at. And then you can see a curriculum report. And then you can see your students' trouble areas. And this will be charted on a graph that's really easy to interpret. Now for all of this data, you can print all of it by clicking the print button, so you can make physical records of all of your students' progress. And this is great for parent-teacher conferences, or if you've got student portfolios or student records that you need to keep in paper format. So I'll be right back in just 1 second, and we're going to look over getting ready to log our students into the game. Alright, so when we're back at our dashboard and ready to log our students into Prodigy, we can click the Log Your Class into Prodigy button, and it's going to prompt us to click the Play Prodigy button in the top right corner. So let's go ahead and do that. Now it's going to redirect us to the Prodigy game interface and to the login page. So this is the place where your students are going to log in each time they play the game. So the address they're going to want to input into their computer or mobile device is www.prodigygame.com/play. And as you can see at the bottom right hand corner, Prodigy is supported on a ton of different platforms like Windows, Apple, iPads, Androids, and Chrome. So you can use Chromebooks, iPads, tablets, computers, phones, pretty much any device to play the Prodigy game on, which makes it really accessible. So now what you want to do is give each of your students their customized username and password, and they're going to use that to log in. So I'm going to put in one of my students' usernames and passwords. And we're going to log in. So now it's going to give your student the option to pick a wizard, a boy or girl wizard. So I'll pick a girl. And then it will allow you to give your wizard a custom fantasy name. Then you can choose the skin tone of your wizard, eye color, hairstyle, and hair color. And then you can pick an element. That's your favorite element. So I'll go with water. And then I can review my wizard before finally creating it. Now I'll ask you where you live, so we'll go with the US. And we'll select Common Core Curriculum. And then it will ask students for their grade, and you'll be ready to go from there. Now once your students are in the Prodigy game, they're going to be introduced to an imaginary world where they need to battle different monsters to get points and to level up and to get new items. So the great thing about this program is that you don't need to be an expert in the gameplay yourself in order for your students to be successful, because throughout the game they're guided by the little character at the bottom of their screen that tells them how to do things, how to complete challenges, how to battle the monsters that they encounter in the game. And so you don't need to have played through this whole entire game in order to be able to give it to your students with confidence. So let's just go through, and I'm going to show you how a battle works and how the math plays into the game itself. So we're going to read the little blurb that our little character friend is telling us about monsters coming through the gate. And now we're going to have a challenge to defeat the monsters. So in the challenge, you can attack, and then you can choose an element, and everything that you can do will be highlighted and everything you can't do will be grayed out. So that makes it pretty clear what you can or can't do when you're actually playing. And as you level up, more of these options will be open to you. So we'll choose our element. And we only have one spell right now, so we'll choose that. And here's where our math component comes in. So in order to actually cast the spell and attack the monster, they need to answer a math question correctly. And if you've put in an assignment, it's going to come from a question having to do with that assignment. So the question is, what multiplication property does this sentence show? 1 times 0 equals 0, and our options are 0 element, identity element, and commutative. And so our answer is 0 element. When you've chosen your answer, you can click go, and it will tell you whether or not you got it right, and you can close it out. And then you can cast your spell. And you can see the little character at the bottom is coaching your students throughout the whole process. So you can go ahead and attack again. Choose your element, choose your spell, and then here we get to answer another question. What multiplication property does this sentence show? We're going to go with associative. And we can choose another spell. We can attack one more time and answer one more question. And there we can see that we've won our battle. And when you win, you can pick a reward and you'll earn stars. And you can see the little character is teaching your students how that works. So the gameplay is pretty self-directed and self-led, so you don't have to worry too much about instructing your students in huge detail on how to do this, because they're going to learn it step by step, and it's a very engaging and very accessible medium that students are already pretty familiar with if they've ever played online games before. So they should be very successful at this. And as you can see, the math element is very much incorporated in order to encourage them to keep practicing those skills. So I hope that you enjoy Prodigy and have success with it. Have a great time.